Setting off to go anywhere with the intentions of looking for the egg of a butterfly or a moth isn't always the best of ideas. Of course, they are small and difficult to find, but armed with a bit of knowledge, a bit of know-how, a bit of time and patience, and a bit of fieldcraft, it's not the impossible task you might think it is. Well, this particular stand of honeysuckle has stood me well actually in previous years when looking for eggs, and I'm hoping that it's going to do the same today. A lot of the honeysuckle seems to have died out in parts of Clipston Old Quarter, but along this section here, which is quite heavily shaded, there is still some good stands of honeysuckle. Now, the chosen egg laying site can vary. It can be on bushes like this, or it can be on honeysuckle that is growing pretty much out of the low vegetation. Here it's through bracken, but it can be through plants that are growing through grass as well. And even in open grassy and sites that are in full sun, you can look for the eggs, and in a few weeks time the larval feeding signs, which are incredibly conspicuous and very easy to find. Seeing the adult moth is very hit and miss. The best advice I could give you is to stand and stake out some flowers in a certain area where you know the moth occurs. That could be just standing at the side of a rhododendron that's in flower, or bluebells like I mentioned, or pink campion. They can be anywhere and are very fast too, and very brief. Don't expect long glorious flight shots with this moth. Far easier to locate the eggs than the adult, and the larva too. So I'm going to start and have a look on here. Might strike it lucky, but there are other stands of honeysuckle around here which I can look on. Wish me luck. Now, if you are looking for the eggs, this is ideal kind of growth. And you need a woody stem, at least from last year, and then you've got this new growth coming off that woody stem. If you just turn it over carefully, and the eggs, if present, will be laid on the underside of the leaf. There are none here. They are a bright green, unless they're close to hatching, then they will darken. But it's just a case of turning the leaves over, or the growth over, a quick look underneath, and you'll soon know whether there are any eggs here at all. Again, this is ideal growth here. Honeysuckle can be brittle, so don't twist it and twist it. And the eggs can be anywhere from right at the bottom there to these end ones, but they're normally nearer the stem. They're quite low down on a length of growth like that. So we'll continue, and I'll work my way through this. The eggs that I've had before have all been on this sort of south facing side, but it is in semi-shade, this particular honeysuckle, and that's ideal, although they will lay on honeysuckle growing in grass low down in full sun. Well, I have found one. It's took a bit of searching, but if I turn this over on that lower leaf just there, that is the egg. But we have success. Laid at the bottom here, where the stem is strongest, can take the weight of the moth, even though the moth supports itself while laying by beating its wings, curls the abdomen round and plonks that egg. And the egg's usually sort of halfway between the midrib and the edge of the leaf. and that's the kind of growth to look on. See if we can find any more, but I'm pleased with that. It's always nice when a plan succeeds. Well, I have found a second, and it's a more recently laid egg. If I can twist this around, it's awkward to get to show you. I'm trying not to break the stem, but there we are. Again, look, midway between the midrib and the leaf, and it's probably been laid for several days. They are obvious. They are easy to see just by careful searching, a bit of effort. And they are very easy to rear as a caterpillar. Very, very easy. No problems rearing these larvae at all. It's just a shame they don't have two broods, but that's the egg that many people are after. Well, almost instant success. 10-15 minutes or so, and found two eggs. On honeysuckle like this, which is growing up something, you're best looking on foliage which is between sort of 3 and 5 feet off the ground. Ideally on honeysuckle like this, on honeysuckle that is growing in semi-shade. But if you're looking for it in a more open situation, then any honeysuckle down to more or less ground level, but between 1 and 2 feet on the strands of honeysuckle growing up through bracken like here, they could be anywhere, but they're never on the straggly growing tips or growing shoots. So if you know that broad-bordered Bee Hawk-moth is at a site and you would like to see it, or at least look for it in its early stages, you can start now at the end of May looking for the eggs. In a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to come back again and have a look for the signs and show you the feeding signs of the larva. Very conspicuous, and it's easy to survey for while it's in the larval stage. Even at sites where it's not known to occur, you can find it easily just by walking past a honeysuckle. No long glances or fingertip searching needed. The feeding signs of the larva are very obvious indeed.